Have you ever wondered what really separates a decent cup of coffee from a truly great one? Well, if you're looking to level up your daily brew, you've come to the right place. In this explainer, we're going to break down the simple secrets to a fantastic cup of coffee. And trust me, no barista skills are needed. Let's dive in. So what is the secret, right? Is it some super expensive, high-tech espresso machine? Or maybe some exotic beans from a faraway mountain? The truth is, it's way, way simpler than all that. And it's something you can totally master right in your own kitchen. That's it, really. You don't need to be a coffee expert to brew a cup that's genuinely satisfying. We're about to walk through the absolute essentials that are going to change the way you think about your morning coffee for good. So, where do we even begin this journey to the perfect cup? Well, it all starts with the bean. And here's something you might not know. The huge majority of coffee you'll ever taste comes from just two kinds of plants. Okay, first up, we have Arabica. Think of this as your go-to for a smoother, more aromatic experience. The flavors can be anything from fruity to floral. Now, the Arabica plant is a little bit of a diva. It's delicate, it needs just the right conditions to grow, and that's why these beans usually cost a bit more. But if amazing flavor is what you're after, Arabica is where you start. And then there's Robusta. And just like the name suggests, this bean is, well, robust. It's got a bold, strong, and often more bitter flavor. But its real claim to fame? The caffeine. It packs almost twice the punch of Arabica. This plant is much tougher, easier to grow, and that makes Robusta a more budget-friendly choice for anyone who really needs that serious kick of energy. So here it is, your first big choice, laid out side by side. Are you all about a smooth, complex flavor, even if that means less caffeine and a higher price? That's Arabica. Or are you chasing that powerful caffeine jolt and a more intense, bitter taste that's easier on the wallet? Then you're looking at Robusta. It really just comes down to what you want from your cup of coffee. But hey, what if you want the best of both worlds? You're in luck. That's exactly why blends exist. Roasters will often mix Arabica and Robusta beans to create a coffee that has both that really pleasant flavor and a serious caffeine kick. It's kind of the perfect compromise. Okay, so you've picked your beans. Awesome. But our story doesn't end there. Now we have to talk about the supporting cast, the roast and the water. These two things can either take your coffee to the next level, or honestly, they can ruin it. Let's just go ahead and bust one of the biggest coffee myths out there. So many of us think that a darker, bolder roast means more caffeine, right? Well, as you can see here, that's just not how it works. Here's the deal. The amount of caffeine in a bean is surprisingly stable during the whole roasting process. A light roast and a dark roast from the very same bean will have almost the exact same amount of caffeine. The real difference is flavor. Roasting brings out different notes, from the bright, acidic taste of a light roast to the rich, smoky flavors of a dark one. So from now on, pick your roast based on what you like to taste, not because you need a bigger energy boost. Now this might be the single most overlooked secret to making great coffee. Just think about it for a second. Your finished cup of coffee is over 98% water. So if you start with tap water that tastes a little off, a bit like chlorine, your coffee is going to taste like that too. Using filtered water is such a simple step, but it can make a massive difference in how good your coffee tastes. All right, we've got our beans, we've got our good water. Now for the fun part, actually brewing the coffee. We're going to look at two super simple classic methods that'll help you put all this new knowledge into practice. First up, let's talk about the paper filter, what a lot of us know as drip coffee. This is a staple in so many homes for a really good reason. It's easy, it's reliable, and it makes it consistently clean-tasting cup. The whole process couldn't be simpler. You start with about 1 teaspoon of coffee for every cup you're making. Heat up your water, but here's a key tip. Don't let it get to a full rolling boil. Water that's too hot can actually burn the coffee grounds and make it taste bitter. That moment right before it boils, that's the sweet spot. Then just pour that hot water slowly and evenly over the coffee and let gravity do the rest. But what if you're in the mood for a richer, more full-bodied cup? Well, that's where our second method, the French press, comes into play. It's a totally different way of brewing, and it gives you a very different result. With a French press, you're going to put your coffee grounds and hot water together right in the pot. Pop the lid on top, but don't push that plunger down yet. Now, you wait. 4 minutes is pretty much the magic number here. That gives it just enough time to extract all the flavor.
Once those 4 minutes are up, you just slowly and steadily press the plunger all the way down, and you're ready to pour.
So what's the real difference in taste between these two? Honestly, it all comes down to the filter. That paper filter in your drip machine, it actually absorbs the natural oils from the coffee, which gives you a really clean, crisp cup. The French press, on the other hand, has a metal filter, and it lets all those delicious oils pass right through into your cup. The result is a richer, fuller-bodied coffee with way more texture. Okay, we've covered a lot. Beans, roasts, water, brewing methods. But the final, and honestly, the most important ingredient is you. It's your personal taste. At the end of the day, the only perfect cup of coffee is the one that you love to drink. And this right here is the biggest takeaway of all. There are no coffee police. There's no right or wrong answer. Just think of all these tips as a starting point for your own little adventure. It's all about experimenting and seeing what you like. So I really encourage you to just play around with it. Try an Arabica this week, maybe a Robusta blend next week. See how you feel about a light roast versus a dark one. Brew with a filter one morning and a French press the next. The whole goal is to discover that one combination that makes you lean back, take a sip, and say, yep, that is my perfect cup of coffee. The journey to find your favorite coffee is a pretty delicious one, I think you'll agree. And now that you've got the basics down, you're all set to start exploring. So the only question left is, what's your